The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council chambers sparkled under the light of three suns. Inside, hundreds of alien representatives from across the galaxy sat in rising circular tiers, their attention fixed on the small human figure standing at the center of the floor. Ambassador Sarah Chen kept her head high, even as whispers and quiet laughs echoed through the chamber. She was shorter than most species present, but her black diplomatic suit was crisp and perfect, her posture straight and proud. The holographic display behind her showed Earth's current space fleet, 30 ships that humanity had worked so hard to build over the past 50 years since first contact. "As you can see, honored council members," she said, her voice clear and steady, "Earth has developed reliable fusion drives, effective mass driver weapons, and shield technology that can withstand significant impacts." She gestured to the largest ship in the fleet, the EDS Armstrong, Earth's flagship. A loud snort came from the Arcsun section. Ambassador Kirk, a tall reptilian alien with scales that shimmed like oil on water, stood up. His tail swished in amusement as he spoke. "This is what Earth considers a fleet." His translator made his laughing tone clear. "Your fastest ship would take 3 standard months to cross a single sector. Your weapons couldn't dent the civilian shields of a cargo hauler. And your flagship." He paused for effect, his forked tongue flicking out. "Your flagship is smaller than my personal yacht." More laughter rippled through the chamber. Chen noticed that only the skilled representatives stayed quiet. The crystalline alien's faceted body flickered with pulses of blue light, a sign that humans had learned meant deep thought or concern. The Military Affairs Committee's hologram appeared next to Earth's fleet. Admiral Pexlon, a 6-armed insectoid, gestured with all his upper limbs as he spoke. "Our analysis shows that Earth's technology is barely beyond Type 1 civilization standards. Their ships use simple fusion drives when even our youngest member species have mastered antimatter propulsion. Their targeting systems are primitive, their shields are basic, and they have no FTL communication capability." Chen watched as graphs and charts appeared, comparing Earth's ships to the Council standards. Each comparison made Earth's technology look worse and worse. She could have pointed out that humanity had developed all this in just 50 years, while other species had taken centuries. She could have mentioned that Earth's ships were more reliable than most. But she stayed quiet, letting them talk. The Council President, a tall being made of shifting smoke contained in a transparent suit, raised all 4 hands for silence. "Ambassador Chen, while we appreciate Earth's petition for full membership, the Council must consider the safety of all members. A species must be able to defend itself and contribute to collective defense. Your ships," the President paused diplomatically, "they are simply inadequate." "I understand," Chen said, her slight smile never wavering. "And Earth's vote. You will be granted observer status only," the President announced, "until your technology reaches acceptable standards." The vote was quick and brutal. Only the Skittle abstained, their crystalline form now pulsing with rapid flashes of deep purple. Everyone else voted against Earth's full membership. Chen bowed slightly and walked out of the chambers, her steps unhurried. In the private transportation pod taking her back to Earth's embassy, she pulled out a small quantum-encrypted communicator. It was far more advanced than anything the Council thought Earth possessed. "Earth Command, this is Chen," she spoke quietly. They reacted exactly as predicted. "Implementation of Protocol Lazarus is approved." She ended the transmission and looked out at the glittering capital city of the Galactic Council. Soon, they would all learn why the ancient Skittle seemed so concerned. Humanity's mask of technological backwardness was about to fall away, and the galaxy would never be the same. 2 kilometers beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Marcus Wong walked through a tunnel that shouldn't exist. The walls were made of a smooth black material that seemed to eat light. No one knew who had built it. At least that's what most people thought. But Marcus knew better. He pressed his hand against a section of the wall, and blue lines of light spread out from his palm. A door appeared where there had been nothing before, opening silently into a massive chamber. The room was bigger than 10 football fields, and it was filled with ships. "Status report," he called out to his team. 20 scientists and engineers looked up from their workstations. They were the best Earth had to offer, and none of them had believed their eyes when they first saw this place. Dr. Sarah Martinez, his second in command, walked over with a tablet. "We've activated the main computer system in Section 7, she said, pointing to a holographic display that floated in the air. "You're going to want to see this, Marcus." The hologram showed a map of Earth, but not like any map they'd seen before. Glowing lines crisscrossed the planet, connecting hundreds of dots that pulsed with different colors. Each dot was a chamber like this one, hidden deep underground or under the oceans. "How many ships are we looking at?" Marcus asked, his voice barely a whisper. "At least 10,000, Sarah replied. "And that's just in this facility. There are 37 other chambers this size around the world." She zoomed in on one of the ships nearby. It was beautiful, sleek and silver, with lines that seemed to flow like water. "And Marcus, these ships, they're the same design as the ruins the Skittle keep studying. The ones they say were built by the predecessors." Marcus smiled. "They're half right. These ships were built by our predecessors, but not alien ones." He walked up to the nearest ship and placed his hand on its hull. The metal felt warm, alive almost. "We built these, our ancestors, and then they chose to forget." Sarah's eyes widened. "But why? Why would they hide all this?" Marcus pulled up another hologram, this one showing a message they'd found 3 days ago. The words glowed in the air. "To our children's children, we had our chance, and we weren't ready. We flew too high, too fast, and nearly burned everything. So we chose to start over, to grow slowly, to learn wisdom before power. When you find this, you'll be ready to do it right." "They left us a gift," Marcus continued, gesturing at the vast chamber. "Technology that makes the Galactic Council's best ships look like toys. 0-point energy drives that don't just bend space. They'd rewrite it. Quantum shields that can stop anything. Weapons that, well, let's just say the Orcs are in for a surprise." A young engineer ran up to them, excitement clear on his face. "Dr. Wong, we just finished the neural interface tests. These ships, they're designed to work with human brains. It's like they were waiting for us." Marcus nodded. "They were waiting. Our ancestors knew we'd need these ships someday. They knew the galaxy would underestimate us, mock us, maybe even try to conquer us. And when that day came..." His words were cut off by a low hum that filled the chamber. All around them, ships were powering up, their hulls beginning to glow with internal light. On the main display, other chambers around the world reported the same thing. Protocol Lazarus was waking humanity's hidden fleet. "Well," Sarah said with a grin, "I guess the Council's about to learn why you don't judge a species by their public fleet." Marcus watched as more ships came to life. Indeed, it's time for humanity to remember who we really are. The underground chamber hummed with energy as Captain Maria Torres stood before her new ship. Unlike the clunky, industrial-looking vessels of Earth's public fleet, this one was beautiful. Its silver hull flowed like liquid metal, with patterns that reminded her of waves on an ocean. "Are you ready, Captain?" Dr. Wong asked, standing beside her with a neural interface headset. It was a simple silver band that would link her mind directly to the ship. "I've been flying ships for 15 years, Maria said, taking the headset. "But I've never been more nervous than right now." Around them, dozens of other pilots were preparing for their first neural links. The chamber was alive with activity as ancient systems woke up one by one. Lights rippled across the ship's hulls like they were breathing. Maria put on the headset. At first, nothing happened. Then she felt it. A gentle presence in her mind, like a hello from an old friend. The ship was alive, aware, and it had been waiting for her. "Asterisk welcome, Captain," asterisk a voice whispered in her thoughts. Asteriski and the Hyperion Asterisk. Maria gasped. The neural link was nothing like the simulations they'd trained with. It felt natural, as if the ship was an extension of her own body. She could feel every part of it, from the zero-point energy core pulsing with power to the quantum phase shields that could shrug off direct hits from antimatter weapons. "This is incredible," she breathed. Through her link, she could see the ship's true capabilities. The Hyperion didn't just fly through space. It could bend reality itself, creating shortcuts through the fabric of space-time. Its weapons weren't simple mass drivers or lasers. They could rewrite the laws of physics in a small area, turning enemy ships into clouds of harmless atoms. Dr. Wong smiled as he checked the readings on his tablet. "The neural link is perfect. Your brain patterns match exactly what the ship was designed for. It's like they knew we were coming," Maria finished. They knew exactly who would find these ships. All around the chamber, other pilots were linking with their ships. Some laughed with joy, others cried at the beauty of it. Through the Hyperion systems, Maria could sense them all. A network of minds and ships awakening together. A young pilot named James Chen whooped with delight as his ship, the Prometheus, lifted off the ground without making a sound. The anti-gravity systems were so advanced, they didn't even create air displacement. "This is what we've been hiding," Dr. Wong said proudly. "While the Council laughed at our primitive fleet, we were preparing something they couldn't imagine. Each of these ships could take on an entire Arxon battle fleet." Maria felt the Hyperion's agreement through their link. The ship showed her memories. Battles from long ago, when humanity had been among the stars. They had been giants then, before choosing to step back and grow wiser. "All ships, report status," called out Fleet Admiral Chen's voice over the comm. One by one, the newly awakened vessels responded. Through the neural network, Maria could feel their excitement, their readiness. "Hyperion, combat ready," she reported when her turn came. The ship's consciousness merged more deeply with hers, showing her maneuvers that should have been impossible. "Very well," the Admiral said. "The Arxon fleet will reach Mars in 6 hours. They expect to find a weak, primitive civilization. Instead, they're going to meet the children of the predecessors." She paused for effect. "Let's show them who we really are." As one, the hidden fleet rose from their ancient chambers, ready to remind the galaxy why humanity's ancestors have been both respected and feared. The Arxon invasion fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Mars, their 30 massive warships arranged in a perfect attack formation. Each ship was 3 kilometers long, their black hulls covered in glowing red lines of energy. They were the pride of the Arxon Empire, never defeated in battle. On the flagship's bridge, Admiral Krasvold smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. His scaled skin rippled with pleasure as he looked at the small human fleet near Earth. Only 5 ships had come out to meet his armada. "Pathetic," he hissed. "Send the demand for surrender. Give them 1 standard hour to reply." But before his communications officer could send the message, something strange happened. 4 of the human ships disappeared, simply fading away like they had never existed. Only one remained, a sleek silver vessel that seemed to shine with its own inner light. "What trickery is this?" Krasvold demanded. The human ship's response came through on all channels. The voice was calm, almost amused. "This is Captain Elena Santos of the Earth ship Mnemosyne. We gave you the chance to welcome us as equals. You chose to be an object lesson instead." Krasvold laughed. "1 ship against 30. Your bravery is admirable, but foolish. Open fire. Show them the might-off." He never finished his sentence. The Mnemosyne asterisk moved asterisk, but not like any ship he had ever seen. It didn't fly through space. Space itself bent around it. One moment it was in front of his fleet, the next it was behind them, leaving trails of starlight in its wake. "Impossible," his science officer whispered. "It's rewriting local space-time." "All ships, fire," Krasvold roared. 30 warships unleashed their weapons. Antimatter torpedoes, plasma beams, and graviton pulses, enough firepower to crack a small moon. The Mnemosyne didn't try to dodge. Instead, a sphere of pure darkness appeared around it. When the weapons hit, they simply vanished. "Those are quantum phase shields," the science officer said, his scales pale with fear. "The kind we thought were only theoretical." Inside the Mnemosyne, Elena Santos sat in her neural link chair, her mind merged with her ship's consciousness. She felt sad for what she had to do, but the Arc Sun had made their choice. "Target their weapons only," she told her ship. "Let's show them true power, but with mercy." The Mnemosyne's weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had seen in millennia. Beams of pure white light touched each Arc Sun ship one by one. Where they hit, matter simply changed. Weapon systems transformed into harmless metals. Antimatter generators turned into simple fusion reactors. In less than 5 minutes, the mighty Arc Sun fleet had been completely disarmed. Not a single crew member was hurt, but their ships could now barely move, let alone fight. "This is impossible," Krastel screamed. "What are you?" Elena's voice was gentle when she replied. "We are humanity, Admiral. The children of those you called the predecessors. We tried to join your galactic community peacefully, to share our knowledge gradually. You chose war instead." Through his flagship's windows, Krastel watched in awe as more silver ships appeared. Hundreds of them, then thousands. They had been there all along, hidden by technology his people couldn't even understand. "Return to your empire," Elena commanded. "Tell them what you saw here. Tell them that humanity is awake again, and we remember who we are." As the crippled Arc Sun fleet limped away, Elena sent a message to Earth Command. "Demonstration complete. The galaxy now knows we're not as primitive as they thought. Let's hope they're wise enough to understand what that means." 1 week after the Arc Sun defeat, Ambassador Sarah Chen walked into the Galactic Council chambers again. This time, no one was laughing. The huge room was completely silent as she took her place at the center. Above her, thousands of alien representatives watched with a mixture of fear and awe. The Arc Sun seats were empty. Their entire delegation had left after their fleet's humiliating defeat. But the Skittle representative was leaning forward, their crystalline body glowing with bright, excited colors. "Honored Council," Chen began, her voice calm and clear. "Earth would like to resubmit its petition for membership." She pressed a button on her wrist device. The air above her filled with holograms. They showed Earth's true fleet, thousands of ships that put the Council's best technology to shame. Each vessel gleamed like liquid silver, their hulls covered in the same markings that the Skittle had been studying for centuries. Gasps filled the chamber. The Council President's smoky form swirled with agitation. "These ships, they're built with predecessor technology. How is this possible?" Chen smiled. "No, they're built with human technology. We are the ones you've been calling predecessors. Or rather, we are their children." The Skittle representative rose, their crystalline voice ringing with joy. "At last, our teachers have returned." Light pulsed through their body in complex patterns. "We kept your ruins safe, studied your wisdom, waited for your return. And we thank you for that," Chen said warmly. She turned to address the whole council. "Thousands of years ago, humanity reached the stars. We had great power, but not enough wisdom. So our ancestors made a choice. They hid their technology and chose to start over, to grow slower, to learn better." She gestured at the fleet images. "These ships were their gift to us, left for when we were ready. When we first met the Council, we could have revealed everything. Instead, we chose to see how you would treat a seemingly weaker species." The Council chamber erupted in worried whispers. Everyone remembered how they had mocked Earth's primitive ships. The President raised all 4 hands for silence. "What are your demands?" the President asked carefully. "Revenge for our previous treatment?" Chen shook her head. "No, we offer a choice, the same choice our ancestors faced. We can all move forward together, sharing knowledge and growing stronger as one community. Or we can continue competing until we destroy ourselves." She paused. "We chose to guide rather than conquer. What do you choose?" The Skittles spoke first. "We choose to learn from our teachers again." Their vote for Earth's membership flashed on the great display. One by one, other species followed. Even those who had laughed the loudest now voted to welcome Earth. The vote was unanimous. As Chen left the chambers, her communicator buzzed with a message from Earth Command. "Protocol Lazarus complete. Beginning Phase 2. Renaissance." She smiled, thinking of the next steps. Earth would share its technology gradually, teaching patience and wisdom along with power. They would help younger species grow, just as humanity had grown. The ancient ships would protect peace while cultures learned to work together. A new golden age, she whispered to herself. But this time, we'll do it right. Behind her, the council chambers were still buzzing with excitement. The galaxy was about to change, and everyone knew it. Humanity had hidden in plain sight, grown in secret, and now emerged not as conquerors, but as teachers. The real work was just beginning.